All right. Hello, ladies and gents. It is October 11th, 2021. According to time.is, it is the International Day of the Girl Child. And I have with me a special guest. This is codename Fitz, the alleged creator of M7 Escape the Matrix.
Happy to be here.
And for those who missed it, myself and Brian did a stream a few days ago. Brian discovered this game 6 months ago. It was really recent.
A little 6-ish months ago sounds right. It was like a week or something after it was posted to itch initially.
Yes. So I guess let's go ahead and let's have our guests introduce themselves.
Well, I'm Fitz. I'm the creator of M7 Escape the Matrix. I don't know what else you want me to introduce since I'm trying to remain semi-anonymous for the sake of the mystery behind the game.
Part of the mystery is even some of the stuff that's most interesting, because when I first found the game on itch, it shocked me that there was not like some name attached to it. The name of the user was the name of the game. There was just a Mr. Anderson YouTube page with a trailer that had like 10 views, because normally when somebody makes some kind of ridiculous shitpost game, they're trying to push some kind of online brand or something. But here we had this thing appear out of nowhere for apparently no reason.
So I guess one of the first big questions we want to have is why did you make this? What is this? What the hell is this?
I mean, it's definitely a huge cosmic mess per se. And there's, I guess, a lot to go behind it. I mean, if you're asking me what my motivation was, like, initially, like, before making this, I had absolutely, like, no video game creation experience. Like, never made a video game in my life. But I got this crazy idea of, mashing many different franchise universes together into, one thing, you could call it. And
now, was this inspired by something else that you had seen? Like a Flash animation from 2006, something like that?
I kind of got like Ready Player One vibes. That's kind of similar to what you see in the game, because you see like all these different like things appear in one location, which is what happens in that movie. So I guess that could be like some inspiration, but that wasn't really like the main.
It wasn't
thing
at the forefront of your mind. It was run in parallel, because Ready Player One came out in 2018, I believe, right?
Yeah, so it came out before, so that definitely, I don't know, it might have like added fuel to the fire for the creation of it, but it definitely wasn't the like, oh, I want to make Ready Player One kind of thing.
How long did it take you to slap this thing together?
Well, I initially began development in 2019, the summer of 2019, and originally this was like a 2D text-based like button click through, and I programmed it in MATLAB. It was garbage in MATLAB because it was super laggy, and it definitely didn't have the visual aesthetics that you see now. And then
I feel like it takes a lot for a text-based game to be laggy.
Yeah, I mean, MATLAB's not the best to program a video game in, but I'm like, I only really know this language, so that's why I did it. But around Thanksgiving time, I was like, let me add a dimension to M7 and make it three-dimensional. So I had no experience with the Unity whatsoever, but I did some research. I'm like, you know what? Let me try it out. Also, some good experience to get into C#, because that's the main programming language. And I, just kind of started rolling from there. You started learning the basics of like how to move objects and import 3D models and all the basic things that are really the core features of how to actually move in the game. And that
I know.
Go ahead.
I know that you that in the ending you don't take any credit for any of the assets that are in the game, but are there any assets that you did create aside from maybe text to speech stuff?
Yeah, so all the assets I found on the internet in various places, they were all free. Like, I was looking for any free model that I could that related to the specific scene or whatever. And that's why some models look fantastic and some look like garbage because, like, they're
Who
from
the heck made those Teletubbies? Oh my gosh, they were horrifying.
They are horrifying. This again, like I scoured like for whatever I could find, and I'm like, all right, even if you're like a completely different like style, like you're going in the game because they're the only one that could, fit that piece. Like if
Going to freefiles.ru and searching up Teletubbies.
And
Like
applying animations that are clearly not meant for a specific model also really added to the charm in some respect, I think.
Yeah, so like I didn't if I had to model everything in the game by myself, like I would still be doing that. Like like I wouldn't even be close to done. So I had a lot of help with it already being available to roll with. And that also like impacted the development of like what was in the game because I was kind of limited to what was available. Like if there were different models available, I might have, gone a different route with certain things, but it kind
like the Sonic area. I imagine the thought process was, okay, Sonic the Hedgehog, and then like page 3 of the model list, oh, someone made the entirety of a Sonic restaurant circa 2004 based on the milkshake prices.
I mean,
so you just add in a Sonic level.
Yeah, like for that. Well, that's kind of how my mind works. Is where like I'll think of a word and then I'll think of like it's like double meaning. Like, all right, you got Sonic the Hedgehog, but you also got like Sonic, like the restaurant. So like, let me like play on that, and like when you go to the Sonic universe or whatever, like you're going to the restaurant when you're expecting to go to some like Sonic the Hedgehog land.
Green Hill Zone, but instead you're getting Blue Slush Zone.
Right? And
yeah.
So that appears a lot in the game where you think you're going to one specific place and then you go to the other. Like I did that with the Avatar universe. Like,
yeah.
You think you're going to like the Last Airbender, but then you go to the James Cameron one, but there's still elements of the Avatar in there, so it kind of throws you for a loop.
Yeah, you would definitely expect it to be the Last Airbender world, considering you were like you collect the elements from earlier on.
And you get, you activate the Avatar state, which, okay, so.
Oh boy.
The way that, I don't know if it was a 2.5-hour video. I don't know if you ever saw it. I think someone posted on the itch.io page.
I watched the whole thing.
Hell yeah.
Sorry, we're sorry for using the ultimate code, and we're sorry for having a very possibly bizarre route.
I mean,
yes.
You completed it in a reasonable amount of time, so... I mean,
was it completed in the proper route?
Yeah.
Is there an intended way?
Is there an intended route, or
well, I
just
guess
play ball?
There are efficient ways. There's probably a most efficient way to beat it. I mean,
imagine the least efficient way.
Yeah, like the most efficient. It also depends on luck because a lot of that revolves around like how many random studs do you get from the
leprechaun.
The leprechaun, and like there's some element of randomness, but even if you like got a low amount, you could still technically, continue on.
I would say the game is intricate, to say the least. What was the planning process like for which items should open where and what's necessary? Did you have this massive notebook with the scrawlings of a madman? Were you playing it and testing it while you were building it? What the heck was that like?
I mean, as I was going through specific levels, like, I would just randomly add some items that I wanted to add that would do something or nothing. And I would kind of keep them there. And then later on in another level, I might create like a a locked area or something that would require those items from a different level in order to get that item or whatever it is, and then that item
The
would
Andrew
later
Hussey method,
and
where
then
you just litter things.
and then that item would be used later on somewhere else that has some use. And this is stuff I'm making up as I go along. So, like, I didn't have, like, every item planned at the beginning, and then I'm like, all right, now I'll make it. Like, I kind of was like, ooh, why not just, like, drop an item here and, like, add it to the code and, you know, see how they all, make sure that it all, like, works and you can actually, like, physically get to it without, you know, running out of force. But
It almost felt like the video game equivalent of an escape room. There are games that are based on the escape room concept, but none of them have felt more like an escape room than Escape the Matrix. I think, like, no matter how much of it was intentional or not, I think you touched on something really, really special with the way it's all laid out and just how many layers of garbage you have to sift through to understand anything.
It made me think of La Mulana. I don't know if you know that game series at all.
I have not played it or been familiar with it.
The gimmick to it, it was originally a really old-ass game on the Commodore 64. The fucking Wild West of video games.
No, actually, it was based
Focus on the Amiga?
It was based on games from that era. It was not actually an old game.
There wasn't an original?
No.
Fuck.
No, they made it look like old games. I'm sorry if the internet deceived
That
you,
makes
Ted.
so much more sense now.
Yeah, because they were
Okay.
they were playing up the fact that old games were cryptic.
Gotcha. But that game, you're an archaeologist, and the game tells you right in the front, like this game did, take notes. You will need to know these deities and these levels and names of things. It's that same kind of that's the same thing I got with this, where it's like I need to know that if I go to the Spongebob world, I can go underneath and I can find the bikini bottomless pit, but don't enter the pit unless I need to reset, and like all these other notes about different links between worlds.
And the worst thing is that it doesn't tell you up front that you have to write anything down. So you just kind of have to figure that out as you're playing.
Doesn't
Well, one of the memes does.
I didn't even understand what CTBS was even supposed to stand for at least 4 or 5 hours. That's not even
big suck.
That's not even slang I've heard before.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, it stands for commit the big suck.
I mean, but I've never heard commit the big suck before.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I definitely remember hearing it somewhere on the deep parts of the internet. I know it wasn't original to me, but it's definitely not like a common phrase that's been said a lot. So I liked it because it kind of encapsulates how you feel when you have to do it.
Oh yeah, Tad, we didn't actually witness what happens when you run out of life points. When you run out of life points, it sends you to like a graveyard area where like the dancing coffin men, you know that one?
The old cartoon with the skeletons?
No, like the guys carrying the coffin.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah, they're doing all that, and then like you can recover just like enough force for like one teleport or something, and then maybe you can recover the run, but usually not.
It's possible. And that's also part of an achievement that you'd have to do. You don't have to do it, but like it's
Oh, that's true. You should have gathered up your missing achievements and asked for hints on them. This was your one opportunity to do so. Okay, question number 7. Why is there so many 7s?
That's always a good question. Well, 7 is obviously a big Bible number, which is relevant to the theme of the game. It stands for, or describes completion and perfection. An obvious example is like 7 days in a week. But, yes. I mean, to get to the heart of the question, I mean, I see the number 7 in my life, like, in random odd spots, like license plates, billboards, in conversation at random times. And like whether this is like confirmation bias or something else, it happens to be a prominent aspect of my life, and therefore I decided to make it a prominent aspect of the game.
Interesting.
And the M7 thing, that M just stands for Matrix?
Yes. It also there are 7 other words that are used to describe it, the game itself. I'm not going to tell you them, but...
Gee, thanks. Well, man, let the mystery live on, I suppose.
Yeah, maybe that's one of the M's.
Ooh, we're already off to a great start.
Okay, endings. So, in the stream, I got quick-scoped. I don't know, maybe quick-scope's not the right word. It's the first word I went to. I got my hand held to get to what we think is the true ending.
Or at least a good ending, seeing as we got that El Salvador with us.
I mean, yeah, that is the true ending, if you want to call it. It's the good ending, if you'd say that.
Okay. So you need to get, or no, you don't need to get to the very ending to get the mustard seeds. You just need to Control-Shift-G.
You just need to get the Control-Shift-G, and as long as you have the El Salvador, you're good to go when you reach the end, because you got the belief in your heart, etc.
Yes.
The mustard seeds gives you infinite attack power, actually, which I forgot to mention to you. But when I showed you it, we had no need for attack power anyway.
Mm-hmm. We had no need anymore.
It's also, so when you have the mustard seeds, you can pull out the Excalibur, as you showed, and give it to Steve. And that's one of the achievements that you unlock. So it's a separate pointless side quest.
Yeah, there's all kinds of pointless stuff that just seems to only lead to an achievement, and that's it. I was alluding to the Dunder Mifflin papers being a very involved side activity, which when I was going through the game myself with the help of friends, I was very convinced that completing that paper was going to be one of the key elements to escape the Matrix. It absolutely was not, and I can't even decide if I'm mad about that.
Yeah, so that was actually intentional, believe it or not. I decided, like, hey, I'm going to make a fake ending and make it seem convoluted enough to the point that this must be the ending, because it has, like, a billion tasks for you to complete. And it's like, oh, I completed all these tasks. And then you finally find the secret lost entrance and, make it there. And you're like, oh, I did it, right? No.
I crashed the Matrix and enter the command prompt, and oh, okay, I guess that did literally nothing, huh?
I mean, you got a map from it, It doesn't really help much, but
I didn't even
So you were aware.
I got the map from the false exit from the architect, so I already had it. I didn't need it.
That's really funny. So, was there any kind of... How many people did you have, or did you have anyone that was helping you beta test the game? Was there anything that came up when other people were playing it that you're like, okay, I'm going to change this. This is a little too cryptic, even for the Matrix?
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, I had a close group of friends. I was making this during college, and I had a close group of friends. A couple of them would play it, and they loved it. They gave me a lot of feedback mostly on, like, not really the content, but, like, specific bugs they found where it's like, oh, this item isn't appearing after it's supposed to appear in my inventory. Or, like, oh no, I'm falling through the world because there's no collider set on this ground.
That
did happen to me. It was very scary.
Yeah.
But you made it back. That's part of why I wanted you to get flight so early, just in case. Get back up there.
Yeah, so they helped a lot with pointing out the bugs, because, like, I just need people to play it through and, like, be like, yeah, and I would watch them as they play it through, and they'd be like, yeah, that wasn't supposed to happen. Let me add that to the list.
Okay.
So, and they did give me a few like content ideas. Because originally I had the game as just the original Matrix, like the 3 pills, and then the Dark Matrix, the 4 pills. But they gave me an idea for the Secret Matrix and the Internet Matrix. So you can thank them for the additions of that.
There's already tons of content in the first Matrix itself, and then the Deep Matrix shows up, and you just feel like the hours you spent digging this hole was only a dent in it. And then it happens again. And then it happens again.
You saw the stream. I was actually speechless when I found the radiation pills.
I think that
I couldn't believe it happened.
The feeling of discovery and questioning how much content is in the game is a very special feeling that very few games can make claim to. The most famous example is Castlevania Symphony of the Night, where if you're totally unaware of how the game works, or you never heard of it before, when you do the right stuff and you get to what you think is the final boss, like that was a fairly short game, but it was fantastic. And then the whole castle turns upside down. You can explore it again with a new perspective, new weapons, new bosses. And you're just like, wow, how many more secrets are hiding from me in this video game? It calls back to a lot of the childhood feelings that we get when we play old games. You know, the instinct of, I wonder why I can't open this fence and explore that house over there. As adults, we understand that video games cost a lot of money to make, and there's no way they're going to render an entire world out there to explore. But when you're a kid, you don't know that. You're just like, I want to explore the whole world. I want to see everything that's out there. And Escape the Matrix gave me that core feeling, which is really lacking in a lot of games today, that make it very bare to you. This is how much content is in this game. I don't know.
The flow of the game too helped for that too, because then as an adult who's spent a lot of time on video games, I can kind of tell when a game is getting close to the end. For this one, I had no idea where I was in the game. I had no idea how much was left. I had no idea if, as you call, I'd finish the Matrix area, I'd unlock something, I'd go in expecting this to be the end, and then I find out now what I think I thought I was getting close, maybe an hour into the stream, and no, I still had another hour and a half to go.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, is that something that resonates with you, or is this just all some kind of grand accident?
I mean, I see a lot of games nowadays. They're geared towards making money. You know, they want you to pay for subscriptions, buy skins.
Ain't that the truth? Anything
to get you to empty your wallets, and that's not really what M7's about, since it's free to play. And you know, it's designed to, you know, actually entertain you. It whether you are frustrated with it or not, in a good way or bad way, like, it's kind of on you.
Yeah.
But the point is for it to, you know, be something interesting instead of just some mindless, like, you know, because I play Rocket League on occasion, and it's kind of it feels kind of mindless at times. Where I'm just like, all right, let me hit this ball into a goal. Like, it's a fun concept, and I love playing it, but it's, after a while, it's like the same thing over again. And the thing with that is, you know, games like that you can keep playing because it's the same concept. Whereas M7's more of like you beat it, you explore it, you beat it, you're pretty much done with it at that point. So that's why it's not a money maker per se.
Done with it, aside from the countless achievements, which, as far as I know, I know for sure that at least among my group that was exploring the game, yes, the council, the Matrix investigation team, none of us have gotten all of the
MIT.
achievements. I'm assuming nothing special happens when we get all the achievements, but I feel like you're not going to tell us one way or the other because it's way more entertaining that way.
Yeah,
we'll get
the
to it eventually, I think.
The mystery is what the mystery is what really drives the game in its essence,
Were there things that you wanted to have in the game? Were there were there times you're like, oh, I have this great idea. When you go to this world, it's gonna be weird. Like, were you gonna Kingdom Hearts it? Did you have ideas like that?
I mean, I thought most of the game was weird to start with, so I wouldn't know how
I mean, like, genre shifting stuff. Like, was there things that you wanted to do that were
Tad,
like, okay, this is out of my
Tad,
scope?
I'm so sorry that I totally forgot to show you what happens when you give Chuck Norris the easy button. There is a genre shifting world.
Okay. See, there's so many secrets of the Matrix that I'm not even privy of.
You're telling me you haven't reached the game show Matrix?
That's right, Tad. The game show Matrix.
I'm sorry.
And I gotta tell you right now, Fitz, that when we discovered the game show Matrix, we tried to get every question right to see if it would open something. So I'm sure your work here is done in that regard. You got us to waste our time. Thanks.
I mean, did you notice that there was a Control-Shift-G, hint in one of the games?
No. All right. I guess okay. So there was more than just getting a natural 20 in the Stranger Things. Okay, this makes way more sense.
It definitely wasn't the intended, like, you're going to see it there. Like, it's possible, but that wasn't,
Okay.
the first spot.
I think there was an architect hint in there as well, but I might be forgetting. There were a few places for that hint. That makes things more interesting.
Speaking of game worlds, one of them really stuck out to me as weird, and I don't know if it was just because you had the models, but the Mythology world. Almost every other one was some kind of TV show, some kind of game, some kind of movie, something like that. But then Mythology, was it in there for any particular reason?
So when I was thinking of Mythology, I was thinking like Age of Mythology.
That game owns though.
But yeah,
is that why there was the Titans?
Yeah, but then I kind of was like, all right, let's kind of split it into the different types of mythologies that exist. Let's do like Greek, Norse, Egyptian, like those types of
Greek,
mythologies.
Norse, Egyptian, Big Chungus, all the necessary things are there.
Of course.
And the only Easter egg in the game.
Yeah, definitely the only Easter egg in the game.
Definitely. One of the best ones, because you get to dance afterwards.
And you get to dance
And
while shooting lasers.
It's the fucking Thanos dance. God damn it.
It's got to be one of...
You know the one.
Yeah, it's got to be one of my favorite parts of the video I edited. Is just him dancing with Shrek.
So, Wheatley from Portal 2. Was the reason he was your guide, was it anything more complicated than just, 15.ai has him available and he doesn't sound too bad? I'll use him.
So, I actually chose Wheatley as the main antagonist well before I stumbled upon 15AI. If it wasn't obvious, I like the idea of portals, so naturally including something from the Portal franchise was a must. As to why Wheatley specifically, I felt that his role in Portal 2 was relatable to how his role would be in M7. Like,
That's a good choice.
To elaborate on that, in Portal 2, Wheatley is the guide that helps you through the levels, initially appearing to be benevolent, but turns out to be corrupted in the end. And I feel that he accomplishes that same task in M7 as you adventure through to reveal Wheatley's true identity. And the fact that 15AI just so happened to come out with a text-to-speech for Wheatley around the same time that I was developing it kind of just added to the...
It was a divine coincidence.
Of course.
Man, thank goodness it wasn't just because it was on 15.ai, because we very easily could have gotten like a Twilight Sparkle guide or something. And I don't think I would have been prepared for that.
Or the heavy?
Oh, the heavy
shouting at me?
Yeah, that would have been great. Never mind. Messed up. Should have been Wheatley. Should have been the heavy.
Is the outside of if anyone pulls up any big massive bugs, is the game all packaged? Is it donezo?
I'm pretty done with it. I haven't really touched it in the past 6 months.
Okay.
Just you can always the nature of the game, you could always add to it and be like, ooh, new memes, new universes, but it would be a lot of the same concepts of like, you gotta get some items and you gotta go unlock other things, and it would still lead you to the same kind of ending. And if I wanted to add more to it, I'd have to change the ending a little on how you get to it to do that. So I don't see a big reason to add anything else to it. Although it would be cool to see everything in existence in the game.
Obviously,
I mean, you could have some epic Wojaks and soy faces.
Oh, yeah.
That would be so funny.
You gotta have. Oh yeah. The kids love them.
That'd be so fucking funny to have the Virgin and the Chad meme. Dude, that'd be so fucking epic.
I mean, I can always add stupid memes to the meme generator that you click.
Oh man, did you just make all of those crappy memes in the same day?
I did. I was on a ride to some friend event, and I was in the back of the car. I'm like, you know what? I'll get it done right now. And I'm just thinking of stupid Matrix
the
memes.
most productive day of the development period, I'm sure.
Oh, there's a lot of productive days, because it was around, a lot of it was last year during summer, and I had, absolutely nothing to do. So, 8 hours worth, almost every week, I'd just be like, all right, let's do a lot of development. And, it would just, I would, zone out while doing it, too, because it would be repetitive processes of just, all right, gotta animate, 50 characters in the same manner.
What is your favorite level or world?
That's a tough one.
I think my favorite, the one that made me laugh the most, I think was the Sonic one, because of how high res the billboards were. When I was able to read the prices, that was really fucking funny to me. Oh, and the other one that was really funny was the Flash, because they were all sprinting in that really, really terrible animation.
Oh yeah,
it got me pretty good.
I was surprised to be able to get 7 different speedsters. I did that on purpose.
Oh my gosh, it's everywhere.
Yeah, there are a lot of hidden puns and
7. Oh
jokes.
Gosh, and there's the 7th hidden Infinity Stone. Oh man.
Yeah, there's a lot of jokes on the surface level that you'll get, but if you look harder, there will be some, hidden gems that you'll find.
So there really wasn't any worlds that you were going to add that you were like, fuck this, and got rid of it. There was just a lot of grab, throw, throw everything into the mixing bowl.
Yeah, I mean, I had, for the different pills, I wanted to do 4 levels for each, to keep it, symmetrical per se. And I just kind of was picking different universes I could do something with, make something out of it. And sometimes in the universes, I'd put things that make sense for the universe, like the Minecraft one, you'll see Minecraft stuff. But then in others, you'll see stuff that's not related at all to the universe, like the Spongebob universe. You go into it, and then you see Jack Sparrow, Kirby, Morgan Freeman, not part of the Spongebob universe whatsoever. But you can still get to Bikini Bottom, which relates to it from there.
Why are the SpongeBob characters representing the deadly sins that they do?
I remember seeing some theory back a while ago that the each SpongeBob main character represented a deadly sin. So I'm kind of playing off that theory of, I don't know who brought it up, but so I was just kind of going with that, and it's like, yeah, you gotta kill all of them, and so I made those different fightable enemies to add into the game.
Oh yeah, I'm looking it up right now, and indeed, a lot of these are attributing SpongeBob to lust. Not sure what that's about. I'm sure if I read a long paragraph write-up, I would understand.
Well, listen, I'm just saying the man's got a lot of holes.
He's got a lot of holes. Can't argue with that one.
Oh, I just had a visceral memory of seeing one of those edited GIFs, edited Weebums, where Sandy chops SpongeBob in the head and they change the water that sprays out to white. And I think that's the end of this line of questioning.
Yeah, I don't think we're going any further with that one.
What did you have next, Brian?
Yeah. So obvious for some obvious semi-anonymous reasons, without saying what, do you have any future interactive gaming projects in the pipeline, or was this Matrix thing just a one and done thing for you?
This was a one and done as I can think of. I mean, perhaps in the future I'll come up with some real game that, has something other than just a bunch of nonsense. But
well, if the Matrix, if Escape the Matrix is any indication, I almost feel like nonsense is exactly what you're good at.
That is true.
Probably the best shitpost game I've ever seen.
Yeah, things happened in this game that I have never had happen in 20 some odd years of playing games. Things that surprised me and me go like, oh, why has no one ever done like this kind of weird stuff before? Which is very, very rare after the indie boom of like 2010.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't go to school for game design, so I don't have like in-depth knowledge of how you're supposed to make a game. And it's like, all right, this is your focus. This is how you do all these, specific steps and whatnot. I just am like, all right, let's throw something together and see how it turns out.
It's like the video game version of outsider art.
Yes. Yeah, you're like, what's his name? That guy who was a schizophrenic locked in an attic, and he cut apart magazines and glued all the pictures around his house. Kind of like that guy. He was really cool.
Yeah, you took all these assets and you cut them out and you pasted them around the attic of Unity, I guess. And then decades from now, people will look at this monumental artistic achievement and wonder what was really going through your head when Morgan Freeman becomes Captain Morgan, etc.
And unlike the guy I'm thinking of, there's not a lot of strange nudity in poses. It's just like funny SpongeBob memes.
I mean, SpongeBob memes contribute to like 50% of memes.
Yeah,
it's 50% SpongeBob, 50% KC Green.
Honestly, the meme economy has been SpongeBob focused for way too long, and I'm waiting for the market crash.
Wait for that bubble to burst.
That bubble is gonna burst, just like
dirty bubble.
Just like the inflated demand of those rare Paypays. They weren't rare at all. They lied to me.
How did those not become an NFT? I'm getting a little off topic. The Paypay market. I was supposed to pay for my kids' college funds. You're gonna buy Beanie Babies with it. So the ending, the quote unquote meaning of the game. Was that something that you're like, yeah, this is what's going to happen at the very end? Did you have that from day one? Or was that something that you were messing around, fudging with things, and then it kind of came to you?
Yeah, so originally I didn't have an ending at all planned for when I started the game. I was like, all right, I had the concept of like, let's mash up universes together, and just be able to move around in them. But then I'm like, as I'm going through, I'm like, all right, let's actually give it more of a purpose and a message and like more of a concrete, reward per se for like actually beating, instead of like getting like a congrats on winning bud at the end of the the game.
Or it plays the ultimate showdown and then just shuts the game down.
Yeah, like, you gotta have some, meaning to why you're playing. And I wanted to incorporate that meaning throughout the game instead of just throw it in at the end. So I wanted to have the whole theme of it kind of cohese, or however you say the word.
Something I thought was really, really smart was the Control-Shift-G, right? You have access to that all the time. You're born, with that, but you just have to apply that knowledge. You have to, once you hear about it, then you can actively, do it all, which I thought was a really smart way to make it tie it into a gameplay thing. I thought that was really, really cool.
That's one of the cleverest parallels I've ever seen in a video game, period. It's kind of crazy how many very small indie games I examine, considering I even found the game in the first place, digging through itch all the time. The idea that you could have done this the whole time, and that's the key to a good ending, that's just nuts. Stroke of genius.
Another thing I would add that I don't know if you noticed it, but if you look on the word, the item in the game, there is a hint on Control-Shift-G in the actual icon of the item.
What?
Ooh.
On the book of in the menu?
The graphic of it?
Yeah, the icon of the item that you see pop up on the side.
What?
If you look closely into the book, you'll see some weird gray rectangles positioned in a fancy way.
A keyboard.
Yeah, you'll see a control and a shift in the bottom left, and they'll be about the same size as. And then you'll see some other key. It won't have the actual words on it.
It doesn't literally say push Control-Shift-G, you nincompoop. But
you gotta read it though. It's
one of those things it's a subtle hey, if you're paying attention, looking at this, taking in the information, it's right here for you to press it, or at least play around with it if you don't know if it's the letter G or F or something next to it.
The word is around us all the time, but we don't even notice what it's really saying. Mind blown.
Damn. So you made the game and you put the game out. The only promotion I saw when I was Googling around was I saw you made the YouTube trailer, and then I saw very, very recently, months and months later, through the Reddit account that I found you on, is that you made one post on the Matrix subreddit about the game. How many people did you expect to find the game? And how many people, did you put any thought, should I advertise this? Should I not? Or was it just kind of I'm just putting it out. If people find it, then people find it, and there they go.
Yeah, it was kind of that mindset. I in the Matrix subreddit, I was expecting it to kind of get bumped down pretty quickly, but I'm you know what? Why not just toss it out there, see if someone will be oh, what is this, right? And click on it, check it out, see what happens. I definitely haven't done any advertising on it, just because I don't really know where I would advertise it. I'm not a marketing expert, and I'm not trying to make money with it either. So I don't know the best way to advertise a free game where you get trapped in the Matrix.
Tied to an account that is isolated from whatever your normal online presence is.
Yeah, so there's really I don't have some fan base built up around the account, so it's
at least not yet you don't.
Haha. There's 10 people, and then 40 people who watched the stream that were enraptured. So at least 50.
Yeah, you got 50 people that are just gonna wait in bated breath for the next big thing you drop, and they're gonna keep waiting because it's not gonna happen.
I put it up on itch, and I didn't think anyone would actually find it, because it doesn't like appear on the home page. Like you gotta actually search like Matrix or something.
Or sort by most recent. That's my strat. Sort by most recent, where it if you sort by most recent on Game Jolt, for example, the top of it says you may find a treasure trove of hidden talent, or you might find the scariest shit of your life. I guess you could try
or both.
Yeah,
or both.
You could upload the game on Game Jolt, I guess. There's that.
Throw it up on some other places. If you're comfortable sharing, because I really want to know this, does itch.io tell you how many downloads?
It does. Yeah,
It does. Yeah.
Okay. How many downloads has there been? Has there been 777?
I wish. Currently, I think it's at 90 overall.
Wow.
Underground smash success.
Yeah,
Holy shit, this is Banksy.
Yeah, when we did the live stream, I got a big boost at like 15 in a day. I was like, whoa, this is a lot. I mean, not really,
Damn,
but
this doing numbers.
Yeah, this really doing numbers.
yeah, I mean, I don't expect it to be like Cyberpunk with like, thousands and millions of, fans or whatever. But, if I see 10 people download, I'm like, wow, 10 people are taking their time to, play this monster of a game. Like that's, it touches my heart in a way.
I like that the description on itch does give you a hint in the correct direction, where it says you could take the red pill, or you could take the blue pill, or you could take the purple pill and go on a big adventure. So that's like, I actually recognized that when I first started trying the game, where I knew the right way forward had to be the purple pill. I was scouring. I thought this might be some kind of elaborate ARG put out by an internet famous person or something. So I was like searching all over the place for stuff. But no, it's just a really weird thing.
The closest I've seen that had some mainstream success to this was about around 2018. It was called This Is the Game, or Enter the Game, where it was a Unity game where you were a computer hacker and you were searching the dark web, going through different websites to try and find where these people were being held. And it was very, very cryptic. Like there were certain triggers that a hitman would show up to your door, and so you had to hide in a specific area, or you couldn't go down to go pick up a package after this amount of time because someone's going to come over there and stab you. But if you do that after you have this thing, instead he's going to give you this. And it was
a big old cryptic mystery sort of game.
It's very possible sometime in the future someone, because This Is the Game or Enter the Game, whatever it was, I think that game was like 6 years old, and then people just found it and it was big on Twitch for a couple months. So
because nobody really knows about M7 Escape the Matrix, there isn't really well documented guides or information for people to follow. Like my group, we have our notes, we have a rough route that works and some information and like achievement here and there. But we don't make that we don't post it publicly on a big old forum for people to look up. If somebody finds this game and they want to know how to get through it, or they want to find some extra stuff, that's not happening. And if it were to somehow become super popular and somebody could just look up something if they get frustrated, the magic would kind of be completely lost at that point.
Yeah, I think I think having a guide to it makes it it's like a cheat code essentially, and it's like sure you beat it, but did you really?
Have you personally beaten the game without the Starbucks ultimate code?
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's not that's not really necessary to win.
Ooh.
Okay.
So it is.
Okay. Because I felt like that it's definitely not necessary, but I'm not super sure what tasks to prioritize. But just kind of having confirmation that you've totally done it just makes you want to take another stab at it.
I mean, that just gives you infinite health, and you can still survive battles. Like there are certain enemies have less health than others, so you can
can survive anything through that. Yeah,
Yeah,
you don't have to get the smash ball. You can
and
fight
you can just
Mega
speed run,
Godzilla Kong.
speed run. As long as you can manage to speed run your way toward getting the mustard seeds, then that helps out a heck of a lot. It's just there's also like the certain doors that take away or like set your HP to things. Oh,
I mean,
man.
you could go for the mustard seeds. I mean, I beat the game without getting the mustard seeds.
The cube maze. Is there like a rhyme or reason to which door you're supposed to take, or is it really just a blind guess?
So the cube one, that's based off the Hypercube movie. I don't know if you've ever seen it.
No.
Oh my god, that's why it looked familiar.
Is the answer like literally ripped from the Hypercube movie?
Well, not really.
Oh, okay.
But so if you read the first text, like when you first enter it, at the like in the text bottom, you'll see a giant capital like word, like capitalized. And when something's capital, you should maybe take note of its importance since it's being singled out. So the word was ally. And
and that's what is that what it spells in the correct path?
And yeah, so you had the 4 different, window doors, and on each of those like walls there was a symbol or letter or number or something that correlated with that word. So the first one was a pigpen cipher. So you had to figure out what the letter A is in a pigpen cipher. And then you would go through that door. And then the next one, lambda, that's L. So that correlates with that one. And then the number 12 is the 12th letter of the alphabet.
And then Y.
And then Y is Y.
Oh, man. ZT.
Why did you get out? Why did you do this?
My friendo ZT that brute forced it, spending like an entire night. I'm just sending out my apologies to him for us not considering the significance of the word ally.
When he brute forced it, did he like? It would take him to a bad room essentially.
Yeah, a bad room that you can't teleport out of it.
Did he ever try going through one of the windows after entering that room?
You're trapped in there.
Did he try like going through one of the windows though?
Yeah, he said you're trapped.
Interesting. Because when you go through the windows, it should, take you back to the start of the maze.
Wait, really?
Yeah, I mean, there might have been some collider issues, so that could have been something, but
either we got confused or it's not working correctly. In the event that it's not working correctly, and you should totally get to try again with it, don't fix it. It's way funnier.
You mess up slightly once.
And he had to restart the whole run over because we didn't know how to exploit the save file.
God damn. This game is a nightmare and a dream.
Yeah,
it's unique. It's one of a kind.
Thank you so much for putting in countless hours and thinkums of effort into making this monstrous creature. That enemy in the game that's a combination of all the monsters. I forget what it was called, but
Goth Madra
Mecha
Killikong or something.
Mothra Gadza Killikong, whatever. This game is the equivalent of that, and I'm happy for it.
Well, I appreciate it, man. I mean, the game's not about me, and it's not about money or fame. It's about you all who play it.
It's a game. It feels like it's a game for its own sake, because why the heck not? And that's what more games should be, honestly.
It is truly some kind of fancy schmancy art form, but I could play it and I could dance and twerk next to the Teletubbies and Gandalf in it. So that makes it cool.
Yeah, they talk about all these walking simulators. They talk about how artsy and meaningful it is, but you can't twerk in those.
Dear Esther, I hardly knew her.
Can't shoot lasers. Can't do magic in them. I mean, what's the point?
Okay, is there anything the first time I played and then my computer didn't save the video, I got the magic spells from Gandalf and I was pew 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 pew. Is there anything other than being really fucking cool?
I mean, you get an achievement for it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And that's what
I guess that being cool is
that's
good
what
enough.
games are all about now, right? Getting chivos.
Yeah, my gamer score went
Nobody
up.
plays games for fun. It's all about the chivos.
Okay. Are there any last questions that you can think of?
Yeah.
Ryan?
Not particularly. We sifted through stuff fairly quickly.
Yeah, a lot of them were answers to multiple questions too. That's why I kind of ran out quick.
Getting scatterbrained.
Is there anything? Was it Fitz? I think it was Fitz.
It was
right?
Fitz.
That was,
That's right, Fitz.
Okay. The secret Fitzman. Is there any last things that you would like to send out to anyone who is interested in playing this game?
I mean, I would just say check it out if you're interested in something unique. I mean, like, play it out at your own risk. It's definitely a doozy.
A doozy it be. Thank you very much for coming on to the podcast here. It was really enjoyable picking your brain. And I'll tell you right now, game is still like 99% as mysterious as it was when I first started playing
no
it.
closer to understanding.
This has answered nothing.
Well, I'll take another stab at it. Find all the different intricacies that you might have missed.
I'm gonna poke holes in it with this fancy fork that I got from fucking Big Mouth Billy Bass in a fucking SCP Never-Ending IKEA that I found in the Spooky Pill.
I'm going to stab at it with a knife that I stole from Olive Garden.
All right. Good night, everyone. Thank you for listening. Goodbye.